right hand.
Oh!
That's another knockdown.
He's not getting up, Jim.
He get up.
He's not getting up, Jim. He's not getting up.
No, he's been knocked out.
Follow with
A lot of times people fail to realize this. They don't know what, when we talk about undisputed. To be undisputed champion, you have to have 3 or more belts.
Right.
Not all 4. 3 or 4 of the organizations.
Yo, what's goody? Welcome to. Oh, he's not getting up, Jim. He's not getting up, Jim. Boxing talk. So. Oh shit. Anyways, I decided to get on here. I wasn't sure. I was planning on getting on here like all day, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about because there's so much going on in boxing right now. But I decided I'm gonna go ahead and speak to y'all about this. About all these belts, the 4 major belts, the 4 world titles of boxing. Not the interims, not the golds, not the silvers, not the platinums, not the angels, not the my bro, he'll know what I mean when he watches this. Not all these other crazy ass belts, franchise, all these belts that's just made up, internationals and all that stuff. I mean, you gotta respect the internationals because a lot of people from different countries, they fight too, and they don't get the opportunities to really fight for the bigger belts like people in America, because they're just not, nobody knows who they are. They're just like, they trying to work their way into the game so they could get the real belts. So it's a lot of countries just paying respect to, I that's how I see it. I could be wrong, but it seems like a lot of countries are just paying respects to their countrymen or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's a whole different subject. Sorry if you hear the AC, it's loud, but it is what it is. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the 4 major belts and talk about some of the issues that that these organizations, these sanctioning bodies, and these promoters, the different issues that they're bringing to the sport of boxing. First of all, it shouldn't be 4 different belts. UFC has 1 belt. UFC has 1 promoter. They might have little sub managers and all that stuff, but UFC has 1 belt, 1 promoter. They're 1 organization. So, I mean, it's that simple. You either a champion or you not in the UFC. But what we got in boxing, we got all these made up belts. We got people claiming that regular belts are world titles. You got people jumping 4 weight classes, literally only winning 1 title, 1 world title in his career, but it's claiming to be a 4-time 4-division champion. Tank Davis, stop it. So it's like, come on, bro, you can't do that. It doesn't work like that. You got people calling themselves undisputed, or their fans calling them undisputed when they never actually got all 4 belts. Being undisputed in boxing means that you have all 4 world titles. That's the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO. Okay? So again, that is the whole purpose of being undisputed, having all 4 belts. Okay? Why is my phone tripping? Anyways, you have to have all 4 belts to be undisputed. Once again, that's the WBA, which is the World Boxing Association, the WBC, which is the World Boxing Council, the IBF, which is the International Boxing Federation, my bad, and I said foundation, I'm thinking about music and shit, and the WBO, which is the World Boxing Organization. So in those orders, that's how the order I just gave you, that's the order that the belts came in throughout history of boxing. So we have Teofimo Jr. or his fan base calling him the undisputed champion of the world. But he only won the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. So he was gifted Lomachenko's WBC franchise belt, which is not a world title. It's a made-up new belt for, basically, WBC created a belt to kind of gift to fighters that they feel has, been successful with them for a certain amount of time. I think Canelo was the first one to actually receive a WBC title. And then Lomachenko was gifted one not too long after. So the franchise title is not a world title. The WBC franchise title is not the world title. Okay? It's not a world title. Devin Haney has the world title and has defended it, I think, twice. I know his last fight he defended it, but either way, it don't matter. Devin Haney is the lightweight WBC world title holder. He is the champion under the WBC sanctioning body. So Teofimo Lopez. Okay, I'm talking about the lightweight division, 135 pounds. Teofimo Lopez, you're not the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. You're not undisputed. You are the unified. Now, one thing that always grinds my gears is these sanctioning bodies just making up bullshit. So when this franchise, WC franchise championship belt was first created, they gave it to Canelo first. They said, you are gifted this belt because of what you have done for the WBC and being one of the stars. We wanted to give you something special. This is just for you. They said, you cannot lose this belt. If you lose a fight, this belt is yours. It's in your name. This ain't a belt that you could lose. It's not a world title. It is literally a gift from us to you. Okay? So this is where the fuckery comes in. Canelo, he gave up that belt. He said, I don't want it. He's like, I don't want it. You know? I'm not sure if they had a sanctioning fees, but I think they had a sanctioning fee on him carrying that belt. As long as he had that belt in his name, I believe they was going to charge him. So, and another thing, they said you can't be a WBC world champion if you had a franchise belt. I think that's the reason why Canelo said, well, I don't want this belt. If I can't be the world champion, the world championship is what matters, not the franchise. Y'all just made this belt up at the last minute just to make me happy or some shit. Like they always do. WBC has so many fucking belts, it's crazy. So he gave up the belt. He was like, nah, I don't want it. He said, nah, I'm good. He had issues with WBC in the past anyways. They've been trying to take advantage of him for a while. Excuse me. So he was just like, yeah, I ain't fuck with y'all. They cool now, though. They cool now. Canelo and WBC, they're cool now. So as far as right now goes. Because this is like, okay, he's the face of boxing, basically, alongside Anthony Joshua, in my opinion. But I think I said that in the last video, too. So, but either way. So they cool now, but he did not accept. He gave that belt back. He was like, here, World Boxing Council, y'all could take this shit because I'm trying to be the real champion. I'm trying to be the best out here. I'm trying to be the man. All right. So basically, he gave that belt back. So Lomachenko, like I said, going back to the lightweight division, Lomachenko, he he basically put in for the belt. From what I understand, he wanted the belt, so they just worked with him or whatnot, you know. And they gave him the belt. They said, "This is yours. Hey, now you have your own franchise belt. It's for you." 11 fights, 1 loss. They're like, yeah, you deserve it. Dude has like 400, 450, 500 freaking amateur fights. So it's like, dude, he's already in his 30s. So it's like, you've been fighting all your life and you only have now, I think, 13 pro fights? But they're fights, though. He came in, he became a champion, I believe, in his 3rd fight. He lost his 2nd, so he lost his 2nd, but became a champion in his 3rd fight. He's a beast. They call him the Matrix. They don't call him that for nothing. He's a beast. His last fight, he looked great. So before I even get into that, so now Teofimo Lopez, back to him. Once again, I'm gonna remind you. WBA, WBO, IBF. He has 3 of the 4 world titles. You're supposed to have 4 world titles to be undisputed. But people are calling him undisputed because he has the franchise WBC belt. Which, like, I don't know if y'all caught it earlier. They say you cannot lose that belt once you get it. What does the WBC do? Lomachenko loses to Teofimo and they take the belt away from him. I thought you couldn't lose the belt. It's a belt made for, like, specifically for you. How you lose a belt that they made for you? WBC is full of shit. They're probably the worst fucking sanctioning body in history. They just fuck people over for no reason. And all the fucking sanctioning bodies, all 4 of them are fucked up. But this one literally gets to me. It gets to me like here. It gets him. I take that shit fucking personal with them because they always on some bullshit. It's fucking annoying, bro. Y'all really gotta get with me and listen and learn some stuff. If you don't know, you get to know it. They be on some weird denim shit all the time. I forget the dude that runs the whole shit, but he gets on my fucking nerves. He just be talking shit. The one that came up with the rules for what is that? I don't even remember that name. Y'all can look it up. I can't remember his name. It's a Latin dude. So, you know, he's just a clown, bro. For him to allow his sanctioning body, his organization to fucking do what they do is beyond me. But anyway, so like I said, Canelo wasn't supposed to, Lomachenko wasn't supposed to lose that belt, but they took that belt away from when he lost to Teofimo. And they gave it to Teofimo. After saying, you cannot lose this belt even if you lose a fight. After saying that, dead ass, they gonna take the belt though. That's why, I'm pretty sure that's why Canelo was like, man, fuck y'all franchise belt. I'm trying to be a champion and y'all ain't gonna fucking play me, you know? Like, yeah, with this little fuckery. It's like, come on, bro. They didn't piss Canelo off so many times, it's funny, but like, yeah, y'all ain't gonna play me like that. Gonna try to stop it. So yeah. It's just interesting. So Teofimo is being called undisputed, but only has 3 of the 4 belts, and is like refusing to fight Devin Haney for that 4th belt, and going around and calling himself undisputed. Him and his dad, his old dumbass dad. I'm sorry, I don't like talking about people, but his dad is stupid. I'm just saying he's a nut. He's like the new who is it? Robert Garcia, I think. Like crazy like that. Just out of it. But, you know, is that his name, Robert? I can't even remember. Me and my bro always talk about him too. We were talking shit because he was a nut. But anyways, or was it Robert Guerrero's dad? It was one of their dads. Dads is in boxing be on some shit. I tell you that. That's a whole nother topic. Dads who have sons that box be the craziest niggas. They just be wilding out for no reason. I be like, damn, y'all niggas is wilding. But anyways, back to okay. So what I'm gonna actually edit some footage. Well, y'all see it. Now, there's a video. This is where I talk about promoters and boxers and sanctioning bodies and why everything's so twisted up in boxing today. There's a video I'm going to probably edit into this somewhere, you know, during the video, where you have Floyd Mayweather Jr. explaining his take on, it's his take because it's not true. So that's why I say his take on what undisputed means. And he said, yeah, I'll get the footage in there. He basically was saying that in order to be undisputed, you need 3 to 4 of the belts. 3 to 4 of the belts. He didn't say you need the 4 belts. He said you need 3 to 4 belts. 3 to 4 of the major belts. Okay. Now, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has never been undisputed. He said that he was, in this video, he says he was undisputed at this time when he got those belts. He was explaining some past history of when he had 3 of the belts. Now, even when there was only 3 belts, which I believe the last belt, which is the WBO, came in like 2004, I believe. I could be wrong, but it came in the 2000s, basically. It was the last of the 4 belts to arrive in boxing, the 4 major belts, the 4 world titles, okay? Even when there was 3 titles before 2004, I keep saying 2004 only because I believe that's what it is, but I could be wrong. Y'all could do research on that. I'll do mine again. He never had more than 3 belts at a time. 3 of the major belts. He didn't have the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. He never had all those at the same time. Okay. So he was never undisputed. Even when it was a 3-belt thing, he never had all 3 belts. He never had all 4 belts when it was a 4-belt thing. Never. He had a lot of belts from, he's a 5-division champion and I think 5-time lineal, 5-time Ring Magazine, all that stuff. And Ring Magazine is not, the Ring Magazine belt being the ring champion, it doesn't make you undisputed. So don't get that twisted. It's a belt that you definitely you gotta pat yourself on the back if you got it, if you get it. But it's not it doesn't mean you're undisputed. It's really just saying you're that guy. You're that guy in that weight class. You know, that's basically what it is, you know. So he was showing Floyd Mayweather, he was showing his belts and he had 4 belts, all 4 belts in the case. But he tried to break it down as if you have 3 to 4 of the belts, then you're considered undisputed. So he was trying to, you know, get his own little clout. He was trying to, you know, do his own ego thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, he was never undisputed. He was never undisputed. So people are going to probably not like that if you tell them that. Like, people probably going to watch this video and not like that I said that, but he was never undisputed. He is one of the best, most definitely. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. Even when everybody was calling him boring, I'm not bored by watching. I like Mayweather as a technical fucking monster. So, I mean, come on. The boy, he fought with this first. It was this, and then it just transferred into, you know, you can't not like that. People hated Floyd Mayweather because he was beating their favorite fighters. That's why they hated him. People love to hate the best. And I'm not saying he's the best. He's one of the best, but he calls himself the best ever. So, you know, he could call himself that. That's cool. You know, I could, you one of the best, you know. There's a few best out here, so. But yeah, man. So it's just but him saying what he said about himself about being undisputed is literally one of the problems in boxing. People want to make up all these narratives and excuses, and it's like, come on, man. Look, they really tried Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford was undisputed at 140 pounds, okay? He was the last guy before, was it Josh Taylor that's undisputed now? Before Josh Taylor, Terrence Crawford was the guy undisputed at 140 pounds at the super lightweight division. He had all 4 belts. He going into his fight against what is his name? Damn, now I gotta look it up. Indago, I believe. Basically, going into that fight, his last fight at 140, he came in with 2 belts. His opponent came in with 2 belts, and one person had to win, one person had to lose. Terrence Crawford came out on top. He knocked him out. I think he knocked him out. It didn't go 12 rounds, so that just, you know, he took them belts. He wasn't given the belts. He took them motherfuckers. So he came in with 2 belts. His opponent had the other 2 belts that mattered. That's all 4 belts on the line. He beat him, knocked him out. 4 belts undisputed. 4 belts undisputed. Okay? Now, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua was supposed to fight for the 4 belts in the heavyweight division. The same 4 belts in every division. The belts that matter. WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO. They were supposed to fight this year for all 4 belts. Anthony Joshua carries the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. Tyson Fury knocked out Wilder to become the WBC champion. The world title. Not no whatever pink title, glitter title, gold. No, this is the WBC world title that Wilder defended, I think, over 7 times or something like that before he lost to Tyson Fury. I can't remember how many times. He's defended it so many times. But I think he's known for being the longest reigning champion in the heavyweight division, if I'm correct. Yeah, I could be wrong. You can look that up. But yeah, he lost it to Tyson Fury, who is a hell of a fighter. For a big ass dude like him, he's a hell of a fighter. Look him up. He's the guy that beat the guy years ago. He beat Klitschko, and he's never been beat. So they were supposed to fight for that undisputed, but we're not getting that because of the bullshit with Deontay Wilder and all his excuses and the arbitrary shit, all that stuff. So we're not getting that fight, unfortunately. The last undisputed heavyweight to exist was Lennox Lewis back, I believe, when it was only 3 belts. It was only 3 belts before when Lennox Lewis got became undisputed. I think after he retired, they brought in the fourth belt or whatever. But that's just this history. Lennox Lewis is the last heavyweight to be undisputed. So remember that. Go watch some of his fights if you haven't. I used to hate on him when I was little. I used to hate Lennox Lewis. I used to be like, man, fuck that dude, because he beat Mike Tyson. Growing up, me and my dad, we used to sit down and watch all the fights, watch Mike Tyson every fight. They recorded him on the VHS and shit. And when I saw, I heard growing up when I saw him beat, Lennox Lewis beat Mike Tyson, I was like, fuck cuz, yo. Hey, I ain't even mess with him. He ain't shit. He cheated. Nah, Mike Tyson just got beat. I had to finally come to my conclusion. It actually made Lennox Lewis one of my favorite heavyweights of all time after finally just accepting it, because he was a really good fighter. He was a really good fighter, you know. Dude he's a master. He used his reach. His height advantage, his reach. He hits you with that jab and straight all night, and you can't do nothing about it because it's like his arms damn near seem like it reached across the whole ring. You sitting there in your little corner, you know, and all of a sudden you just get hit with something. You're like, what the fuck, man? Shit, that nigga, he used the shit out of his reach and his height. You know, like you try to sip on some water. I was like, what? But anyways, that's a whole other thing. Let's see, where was I going with this? Okay, so yeah. So we haven't had a heavyweight undisputed heavyweight since Lennox Lewis. So that's a whole nother thing. The fuckery with these sanctioning bodies and all this shit going on. We're not gonna see one this year, which we all thought we was, but like I said, Deontay Wilder had to do his whatever bullshit. So that's out the line. But that was going to be a fight. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua was going to be a fight for to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So, though we're not getting that this year. So, it's like, So, just going back to what I said, I hope everybody understands the meaning of undisputed is having the 4 major belts, the world titles, the 4 major world titles makes you undisputed. That's the WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO. Now, I did bring up Terrence Crawford. I find it funny. Now, this is where shit gets stupid. This is what I'm talking about, the bullshit in boxing. At one point, I want to say last year, the last couple years, like 2000, 2019, 2020, 2019, 2020. Basically, they was going out of their way so hard to make sure Errol Spence doesn't fight Terrence Crawford. To the point where they literally, the PBC tried to say that the WBO isn't a major title. It's not. They don't recognize it. They tried to change the rules themselves just to avoid. I'm not gonna tell you. I hope y'all don't making noise like that. That's how passionate I am with this shit, nigga. Like they tried to literally say that the WBO in the welterweight division, or I guess in any division, doesn't matter. It's not. We don't recognize it as a world title. You gonna sit here and tell me y'all gonna not recognize a title that is a recognized title? Y'all just gonna stop it. You sound stupid. That's how hard y'all trying to avoid Terrence Crawford. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother subject, and I'll get into that later. But that just shows you how full of shit most people in the boxing industry, in the boxing world are. And fans was going with it too. Like, yeah, man. And they're sitting here talking about Terrence Crawford. Earl Spence says, I'll fight Terrence Crawford when he gets a belt. Terrence Crawford gets a belt at his first fight at 147. All of a sudden, they don't recognize that belt. Really? All of a sudden, he get a belt. He goes and gets a belt, and now we don't know what the WBO is. Shit, just call it Bob Arum's belt, because for years, Bob Arum's guys have been running the WBO. Bob Arum's been running the WBO, so you know. But that's crazy though. It's crazy. It's crazy like that. It's like, all right. It just shows you how much bullshit is in the sport of boxing. There's a bunch of bitches. There's a bunch of hoes. It's like the streets. The boxing is like the streets. Boxing is literally like the streets. You just don't know what you're gonna wake up to. You're just gonna wake up to more fuckery. You know? You're just gonna wake up to more fuckery. These motherfuckers, it was like, we do not recognize your belt. No, they was like, hey, go get a belt at welterweight at 147, and then we'll talk. Oh, you got a belt at 147. Oh, well, nah, we don't like that belt, though. Nah, we cool off that belt. We ain't trying to see that belt. It don't even matter to us now. We gonna make up our own rules. We gonna... Come on, man. The fuckery in boxing, bro. So, in conclusion, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up because I didn't plan on being on for 30 fucking minutes. 4 belts: WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO. The world titles, the 4 world titles make you undisputed. Not IBF, WBA, WBO, and WBC franchise. It's not franchise. The franchise belt is not a world title, which means you are not undisputed Teofimo Lopez Jr. Okay? Can we get that across? Can we make that shit count? Can we make sure this dude understands you are not undisputed? You are unified. You are a unified champion. And much respect to you for that. You did it in a very well way. You got there for a reason. You are a hell of a fighter, but you are not the undisputed champion of the lightweight division. You're not. You're just not. Just stop saying it. Tell your fans, be like, hey, y'all need to stop calling me the lightweight undisputed champion of the world. Because I'm not. I am lightweight unified champion of the world. Okay? Tell your fans that. Be like, hey, y'all gotta cut that shit out, cuz. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cut that shit out. For real, for real. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is... Oh, you not getting up, Jim? Boxing talk. I'll be back with some more when I get some more. Peace.